to the ExecMBA Podcast. I'm Brett Twitty, Director of Admissions for the Executive Formats of the Darden MBA, and you are listening to a new episode. So on this episode of the podcast, I'd like to feature a conversation I recently recorded with Priyanka Rattana. Priyanka is a student in our class of 2019, and she and I recently sat down to talk a little bit more about what led her to pursue an MBA, what she's enjoyed about her experience at Darden, and how she balances work and school and the demands of being a mom. So without further ado, here's my conversation with Priyanka. Priyanka, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
So for our listeners at home, tell us just a little bit more about yourself.
I'm originally from India. I was born, brought up there, studied there, moved to United States back in 2003, and have been in this area, Northern Virginia, since then. As a professional, my background, I'm an engineer. I have a bachelor's degree, but I moved into program management pretty quickly in my career. And somehow, for last 10 years, I switched to operations. So I'm a business finance operations manager in a big company, consulting company. So,
wow. Yeah. So a lot of different experiences.
Yeah. And I would say that my PM experience, project management experiences have helped me a lot with my operations side, because I have seen the client-facing aspect of it and now how things work on the back-end side of it. So I was able to bring both of those, and which helped me in my current job a lot.
And you're also in an MBA program.
Yes, I am. And one of the reasons I chose MBA was because, like I said, I have engineering background, but the operations and finance, once I moved into that domain, I noticed I am passionate about it. And I think that's when I decided that MBA is going to be a good choice for me, because it's not only gonna give me more understanding into finance, but a broader view of of journal management. So that's why I think it was a good leeway into this new domain and to grow in this industry. Or I think MBA would really help me with that.
So you're here. You're now over a year into the program. Y'all are in quarter 7.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Time flies.
Totally. So what have you enjoyed most about the program?
I would say people. When I joined here, I was a little bit nervous and anxious about. I've never studied in US. All my education was in India, so that was one of the things I was not sure how different that would be, how well accepted I would be, how the classes would be. I talked to a few people, alums, before joining, and I got good feedback about it. I got good understanding of how it is, but unless you are here and you do it, and that's one thing I think impressed me a lot when I joined here and I started talking to people, how well accepted I felt here in terms of my background, in terms of my experience, and in general, everybody was very welcoming, and Darden is kind of a community, and I feel a big part of a very, very supportive community here.
That's the thing that strikes me. I've had a bunch of these conversations with our students, and the thing that everybody mentions is just how supportive.
Yes, and that's exactly. I mean, if you go out and just ask about, like, I don't know how this calculation was done. Very simple example in the class. There will be like 5 people who will be ready to share their notes with you, or just sit down and walk you through different how they understood it and what was. And any subject matter expert in our class, like accounting, was a little bit difficult for me, but there were people who do this job, and they hold sessions for people like me who don't understand accounting at all, to bring in all the questions. And the good thing is there is never a stupid question. You can ask a basic question and people would be very supportive to answer that and help you out with everything.
So that's such a great point. I think there is oftentimes a situation that comes up with prospective MBA students where people feel very intimidated by the idea of going back to school and doing something like an MBA, because they think, gosh, everybody else in the room is going to know about all this stuff. And I don't know anything about accounting. I don't know anything about finance. Is that something that you thought about?
Yes, and this is very, that's what exactly, you said it right. When I joined it, there were so many moments where I doubted myself in terms of whether I belong here or not, or whether I'll be able to succeed, especially when I just joined it and I didn't know people here. We were just settling in, so I had so many questions and so much anxiety. And that's what you said, that I thought everybody comes from different experiences. People would know, and I am sitting here. I would not know, and how would I participate or how would I help? But then you start talking to people, and you feel like you're never alone. You're not alone. There are so many people who have accounting experience, but they don't have operations experience. So you will always find a way to help, even not in just academic, but outside also. So after a while, when I started talking to people, and we started exchanging ideas and our notes and everything, it come out like, okay, you are not alone. Everybody's with you. Everybody's in the same boat, and the message came across like we are all in this together, and we will all, graduate together and just be there for each other.
No, and so your earlier point about not knowing accounting, sort of struggling with accounting, but having classmates to be there to teach, the subject matter experts. I imagine that you help with operations.
Operations, yeah. It was a strong. So because of an engineer, I'm good at quant stuff. So numbers, I can talk numbers. So operations was one of the things where it clicked very easily for me, and there were cases where I was able to share my Excel sheets with all the numbers in there, my thought process, and which helped people in decision analysis. There were a couple of things which I was able to grasp, and we did. Amanda and I kind of did a joint session on one of the decision analysis for people who were struggling with that concept. So, yeah, like I said, there are things where you can help your classmates, and there will be things where you will need help. So
yeah, that takes the pressure off people, though, and you don't have to be a subject matter expert in everything, right?
That's right. And one of the other good things about Darden is our learning teams. Like, the learning teams have so many. Our learning team has 6 people in it, and they are very diverse from their background. One of them is from finance, one of them is from Navy, and somebody is quant heavy, somebody has just experience in marketing. So when we're doing all those cases and we are pretty open to each other. We go into the meetings, and it was one of the cases I was like, I have no idea what the case talked about. And then in the meeting, somebody who understood it was able to walk through the case, and it was like, this is my understanding, this is how we do it, which helps so much. That you are not going into the class thinking, oh, I don't know, what if professor asked me anything, I would not be able to answer, because you already talked to your learning team. They have helped you understand the concept, and the rest you can do in the class. But at least you know that your team is there with you for preparing for the class.
So when you were a prospective student, you obviously talked to some Darden alumni and thought a lot about the decision to come to Darden. What ultimately led you to make this choice?
For me, I think Darden was the highest in the list because one was, I'm a mom, I have 2 kids. One was the availability of the program. it was right there in Roslyn, which is it works with my schedule. The second thing was the case method. Like, I've talked to alum before I joined, and one of my very close friends is a Darden alum, and I had very long conversation with him. And when he said that if given a chance, I will do it again, no questions asked, and he explained how the case method works, how the discussions happen, how different people from different experiences bring their points to the table, and that's how you grow your learning. It became very clear that it's not gonna be just very good learning experience, but a very very enjoyable also. And I looked at the other programs where it's not case method, and it's very similar to what we had in India, where there are textbooks and you just like go through the technical stuff and do it. And I just don't want to go through that again. So I think the availability of the program and the case method attracted me to Darden.
Mm-hmm. So you did mention that you're a mom, and you're juggling being a mom with school and with a really busy job.
Yes.
What would be your advice to moms out there who are listening to the podcast and thinking about, gosh, how is Priyanka making this work?
I think for me, the biggest thing was a support system. That's hands down. I have a very supportive husband. I have very supportive friends. And then very quickly, I made myself understand that I cannot be perfect in everything. So it's okay to not be perfect in every area of. It's okay. My house is not clean for 1 week. That's fine. So I would just say that find a good support system. Don't think you can do everything alone, and don't be perfect. Don't want to be perfect. Like, it's okay to give yourself break once in a while.
No, that's such a good point. I think that's true for everyone in the program, right? It's going to be hard to be perfect at anything when you're trying to juggle, things that are really, really hard, right? Being a parent is hard. Being a good employee can be hard at times. And, just in terms of work and work volume, and certainly, being a good business school student is challenging, right? Because you got a lot of reading to do.
And that's right. The good thing about it, there are two things which happened pretty quickly when I joined the program. One was I was able to scale back at my work, and that was a good thing for me in a way that even at work it was good for me, because I was able to grow the team working for me. Because before that, it was like always I'm there, I'm doing everything, and then very quickly I understood that it's my chance to scale back a little bit at work. Not that I still have the similar responsibilities, but I'm making my team grow and give them more responsibilities. And that's whatever time I was able to save, I invested more and more in my studies also. One thing I made sure that my time with my kids, even though it is impacted, I kept some of the time just for them. Like before that, before I joined, I never thought that I would make one day as a family day. So very quickly after joining MBA, I was like, Friday evenings are just family. We are not going to make any plans. We are not going to go out. If we go out, it will be like a family. So it will be a very family-oriented, no distraction evening. And it turned out pretty good. My kids, even though at times my daughter gives me a hard time that I don't like your MBA, but she understands. And when she goes out and proudly says, my mom is back in the school and she's working so hard for us, that is just the best, best outcome of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we always talk about how it does take a village and support system, and it just as you lean on your classmates, you lean on people at home and elsewhere at work too. So you now are, close to the end. We talked before the start of the podcast that you've been on 2 global residencies. Right, so you went to South Africa?
No, I went to China and Europe.
Oh, China and Europe, that's right. What were the highlights of those? Anything that stands out from those experiences?
Yeah, just going into those countries, and both countries I've never been before. China was pretty good experience. Europe as well. Going there, reliving the culture even for 1 week, visiting the companies, experiencing how they work and how things are there. It's just amazing, because like China was a very, very good experience. You sit here, you listen all the news, you look at the pictures, or you talk to people. It's not the same when you are there, actually experiencing it. So we were in China, in Beijing. We were able to go out and have a very authentic Chinese food, which is not at all what we have here. So just small things like that, experiencing the culture. It was amazing. And the second thing is the relationships you make during those global residencies are lifelong, because you are in a different country, you are there together, you are experiencing the same things. The conversations you have there, those are the things which will stay with you for a long time, and those relationships will stay with you for a long time.
Yeah, there's something about traveling with a group of people, right? Yeah. And the trips are, part, academic, right? You're in class, you're taking core classes while you're there, but also cultural, right? The goal is to give you a feel for the place. So what would be your advice to a prospective student? I mean, obviously we've got prospective students who listen to the podcast, thinking about going to get an executive MBA, thinking about maybe coming to Darden. What advice would you have for that person?
I would say if you are still in research mode, get in touch with alums or students, current students, and try to talk. And everybody at Darden is very helpful, approachable. So any questions or any kind of doubts you have in your mind, go and have informational interviews with people. The other thing would be attend a couple of classes if you can. That way you will be able to see how interactive the classes are, and it's not just sitting in a class taking notes. People participate so much, and how much professors bring out different variety of ideas on the table while we are in the class. So talk to people, bring your questions, just, if nothing, just meet and see, have a feel of how the program is, and attend the classes. I think that would be the best thing.
Yeah, I would like to mention visiting a class, reinforce that comment, because there's something nice about being able to see the case method up close and personal, and it sort of makes what can seem a little abstract at times, right? What does it really look like? So it makes it real and vivid, but you also get to meet the current students, right? Mm-hmm. So ideally, you've come for a class visit, you're sticking around for lunch or coming early for lunch, you'll have a student host, and of course, you'll have 65 or so people here to talk to, who all just, year or a little more than a year, or maybe even shorter period than that for our class that just matriculated, were in your shoes, right? Yeah. Trying to pick a business school that was the right fit. And your point about culture is really well made, in that every school's got its own feel.
That's right, yeah.
And you want to find a place that fits and that feels right to you.
Exactly. And you can talk to people and you can get a feel of it, but unless you come to the place and feel it yourself, you will not know whether you fit in there or not. I did the same thing. I talked to alums, I talked to people. Brett, you were really phenomenal during that process. Attended the class. I remember I attended Peter's class for economics, and I went home with the awe, like how can an economics class be so interesting and enjoyable? And that was my big takeaway from that class, that it's not just sitting there, I'm making graphs or I'm just making notes. It was actually the interaction between different ideas and people, which was so enjoyable. So yeah, I would encourage, like Brett, you said, to come and visit a class, attend, I think, a couple of classes and see.
Yeah, and for those of you who are wondering, how do I visit a class? We have class visits on the website. So you can just check out Visit Darden. You'll see we have in-class visits throughout the coming months. So hopefully we'll see you here in Roslyn or in Charlottesville. We have class visits in both locations. So Priyanka, you got a few more quarters to go here before you're done. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to my graduation, that's for sure. But I'm also looking forward to what this degree will open up for me. And like right now, we are in that where most of the load has been, like we can see the end at the tunnel. So right now it's more of what I need to do as next steps. I have my own entrepreneur idea, how I can make it come to life, and I've been talking to different people, and people have been really helpful, giving ideas and how they can help. So that's, even though I'm looking forward to my graduation and getting degree in hand, which is 21 months of hard work, I'm looking forward to put more time into what I've learned here, into my own idea, and bring it to life.
So thinking about starting your own business, huh?
In a way, yes. And one of the things Darden helped me with before that, I have had that idea for quite some time, but I never thought I would. I never gave it a serious thought. After coming to Darden, I don't think nothing seems impossible. It seems like a good idea. People appreciate it. People understand it. They support it. It's just a matter of now getting into it.
Are you at a place where you feel like you can share your idea, or is it still?
It's still in a very early stages, but it's very similar to the operational stuff I'm doing. Like I told you, operations just calls me. So my target audience, my target customers would be the small and mid-sized companies, and I'm trying to create something on a tool or a service base, is a kind of a ERP solution. So that's a very very broad way of it, but along those lines. So something from my operational and finance experience, if I can bring that experience to small and medium-sized companies and do something about that.
We'll have to have you back on the podcast to talk about your business.
Oh, well, yeah. First, I need to actually. I started writing down on a piece of paper on what I can offer my clients, but that's just stopped there. So I still have to seriously making a business plan and do a little bit more research there.
Well, that's great. Well, Priyanka, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Fred. And I welcome everybody to visit the class, and like we talked, and just any questions, just reach out to us.
Absolutely.
We'll be happy to. Thanks.
And that was my conversation with Priyanka Rattana, a student in our class of 2019. As always, if you have any comments, suggestions, requests, anything you'd like for us to cover here on the podcast, we're all ears. We can be reached at exec, that's ExecMBA @darden.virginia.edu. Until next time, thanks for listening.